Photographer, independent freedom fighter. I'm going to go through today's news. Naturopathic doctors were at a conference in 2018 and were rushed to hospital. And papers picked up and saying they were given a drug derived from opium. And I was surprised at that myself, but it actually turns out when they were interviewed, they said no, they hadn't took any drug. It was whatever it was spiked on them, and it's an apology to try to get rid of them more. In my eyes, for a fact anyway, because that's already been like, some people say it's 11 dead in America, but I was counted up and I thought it was about 14 by now. And this is went into Germany when they've been trying to take him out. One was just found there in his, what do you call it, out in the woods where he used to walk. A doctor called Mitchell Gaynor, and he was also just found dead, and he's always been on a pure health rampage. He's always taken the best care of himself. He's never had any problems, and yet he's just found dead. But anyway, moving on to kelergi ban. It was Richard Coudenhove kelergi. It was founded in the EU, and he was saying with Churchill that he wanted to submerge all these together so that we could be controlled easier, because we've not got any lineage or with actual respect, because we can just show, oh, they were better, but no, semantics in between it all. But if you read it, you can get a read for yourself and see exactly. I was reading it on one website and decided not to cover it because it was heavy racists that were running it, and he was saying pretty much that he was proud of Hitler, and he was proud of the fact that he never had to live amongst any black people or any Muslims or anything like that. So I was like, right, no chance, we can't have anything to do with this guy, man. People think I'm just the same as him. But anyway, moving on through scumbags. Right, Muslim saying he's a tolerant Muslim. Tolerant way he is. He says, I'm coming here to get a better myself. When he's like, I'm not a terrorist. The terrorists are back home where he left his Wayne and his wife. So I just think, is that the kind of people you want living in amongst you? And and from that point, a top Imam Muslim who says that the fact that we're all infertile is now the West is begging for them to come to our lands and impregnate us, and they say this is where they can take over, is by breeding their way into control. If you can just imagine, that's been the number one solution I can imagine for about the last 10 years, because we're hardly even replacing ourselves in the UK, and I would say it's pretty fine, you know what I mean, because we can control our lives better, we can manage ourselves, and we're not poor. But they don't want that, but they want a stimulus, people, they want to say that there's a problem with how many there is, we need more controls on this and controls on that. So it fits into their agenda pure brilliantly. But anyway, a smuggler tells migrants that there's all these Swedish beautiful blonde women all waiting for them, and that they're there as soon as they land. Not saying that they've got them waiting for them in a fucking brothel. They're saying to them probably, when you get there, you can have your choice of any one of them, you can do what you want, nothing's going to happen to you, because there's pure rape ghettos all over Sweden now. There's no-go zones on the news where they say, here, stay away from this place now because it's blew up and it's all migrants in it, and it's like Somalis and whatnot. And if anybody in England will tell you, if you live next to Somali people, that you can guarantee your doors and windows are all going to be taken off and sold when you're out of the house, and every single thing inside your house will be sold and gone to. And these people, as I was saying earlier, in Sweden, they don't pay any taxes, they don't go to work or do nothing, but they get care money, they get other incomes, they still get paid off the governments, but they don't pay anything back to them. And anyway, moving on from that one, Americans putting NATO against Russia, and because of the fact that they've said many a times that they've hated Russia, but in this person's story, because she works for the newspapers in America, in New York Times, she's saying that it's never been a problem up until now, that they've always tried their best to get on with Russia, but it's just been wee problems here and there. When it's not, they've always been pure right against them. They've always, even when they let them into G8, they were pure criticising it, saying that they weren't going to do so well. But anyway, as it goes on into our story, you just keep on seeing more lies about how it was Russia that caused the problem in Crimea. It was Russia, and it started in Ukraine as well. And it's not, but it's Biden's son and the Americans wanting the oil for themselves and not paying anybody for it, and cutting out Russia's arms, because that's where all their income comes from in their country. Is all different countries, all different places where they've got oils and communications with them. And they're shutting that down and putting Biden's son in charge that never had a job in his life. It was put to tap a power company, and 97% of people in Crimea voted to stay with Russia, but were still, for their fascist group, pulled them away and managed to get somebody else in power that wasn't going along that direction. So that's the way they work, and we've seen that for about the last 60 years. That's the way they work, putting in new dictators that are going to manage things pretty easy for them. And that's pretty much going on to a kelergi plan again. I was going to go through a few topics from it, but the best I could do is tell you to read it yourself, because it's coming from my mouth. You'll probably still not believe half of the stuff. You should actually look into that guy kelergi and see what he wrote and what he says about it, because it's exactly as I say. They try to submerge us in our people's culture so that we forget we're in, and then we're easy to dominate and control through that perspective. Anyway, that's me going to wrap this up. I'm going to keep it sweet. Thanks for listening. It's Paul McGrath, Independent Freedom Fighter. Thanks for listening.